Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about the latest Firmware 5.0 update for the Nikon Z9. Now, I want to discuss not only the updates, but what does it mean for the future of the Z9, Nikon itself, and of course for all of us Nikon shooters out there. Let's get to it. Okay, so before I get into my predictions and opinions about the overall firmware update and what it means for all of us Nikon shooters, first let's take a look at what has been added with the latest firmware 5.0 update for the Nikon Z9. Okay, so here we are at NikonUSA.com, and here we are clearly firmware 5.0. If you need to download it, if you haven't done so already, feel free to go there and click the free download button. Many of you already have. I have the moment I got the email, but I just want to go over it. The latest updates. So obviously we have auto capture, but remote shooting enhancements. So it says you can start a date and time and duration to preserve battery life. Well, that's pretty cool. Therefore, you can just start it and stop it when you do want to and schedule it out. That sounds pretty dope. Enjoys more frame rate options, including C15, C60, and capture in DX crop mode, and much more. So we also have improved focus point visibility, so you can see here the area of focus. You can make it thicker, the borderline at least, and if that helps you out, so you can know exactly where the focus point is. So there you go. Increase the border thickness of your focus point. So for those who needed it, I never really needed it, but I'm sure those with different eyesight capabilities may have needed it. We have improved flicker reduction, which is always good to have. I mean, this is good. I like that they're working on that, especially since there is no mechanical shutter in this camera. I'm glad that they're still continuously trying to improve that flicker reduction. All right. So there you go. Obviously, easily prevent banding from LED lights with 4 shutter speed presets for the most common LED frequencies. Fine tune and save each preset to match your venue. So that's really dope. We have also here more portrait features and picture controls. Draw even more portrait power out of the Z9 and Nikon Z lenses with portrait impression balance and skin softening. Plus, additional picture controls like rich tone portrait and flat monochrome and deep monochrome. All these I noticed were in my Nikon ZF. So I'm glad to see it over here. And I believe they added some of this in the Z8 too. So with all that said, these are really cool. I love the monochrome looks. I hope Nikon continues to improve on their film simulation presets, because the black and whites are really good. I use the deep tone monochrome a lot. It looks great. So I haven't experimented with rich tone portrait. I will, just to see what I think about it right out of the camera. Maybe I'll do a review of that. That'd actually be a fun review. So stay tuned for that. Then we have separate shooting banks for video, which is cool because I actually use that a lot for photography. I may have, if I'm shooting a wedding, one for inside a venue and one for outside the venue. Let's say ceremony versus reception, that sort of thing. So to quickly go through the banks and change the settings is really nice. So that's cool. So now you can do that through video. Now you can share your favorite video recording venue settings in their own shooting banks, totally separate from your photography settings. Record resolution, frame rate combinations, raw settings, file types, and more in an instant. So that's really cool. I'm surprised they didn't do it on the offset, but I'm glad they added it now. Enhanced AF accuracy with ProPhoto A10 flashes. So if that's a thing for you, I don't use ProPhoto. My budget doesn't say so, but I'm glad it's there. And again, that they're improving. And there's more functions for your FN buttons. Customize your photo, video, and playback modes even further with assignable functions for focus position, skin softening, portrait impression balance, AF area mode, playback speed, retouch item, and like raw processing and trim and so forth. So there you go. You get more further customization that can only help us out in the long run. And I actually like recustomizing my FM buttons for things I use quickly. Like one thing I like using is the what do you call it? The horizontal line to know if I'm balanced or not. And so I actually like turning it on, getting it, and then turning it off. So that's a cool function, but that's just made. There's many more you can customize. And then we have here, they further improved SnapBridge. I'm going to do a quick little video about SnapBridge in a second. But right now it's saying seamless Wi-Fi connection with SnapBridge app. So they're obviously promoting their latest update to the SnapBridge, which is like 2.11 or something like that. I'll mention that in a future video. So now the Z9 can connect the smartphone in station mode, giving you all the features of SnapBridge without interrupting your phone's Wi-Fi connection to the internet. Because up to now, if you need to connect Wi-Fi, you have to tell your phone to disconnect from your home Wi-Fi in order to connect to the camera's Wi-Fi. And for me, what happened numerous times is that it may connect, but then it'll disconnect to reconnect back to my home internet. So I honestly haven't been able to rely on the Wi-Fi connection via the SnapBridge app. Now the Bluetooth, I've had it work numerous times. The Nikon ZF, I use it a lot. That's my favorite camera to use it on because that's my to-go camera. And I like having the auto upload when I'm out and about so I could quickly access the image that I just took and post it online. So with all that said, this sounds good. I want to test it out and bring it all to you, of course, about the experience of using the smart in-station mode. So additionally, the Z9 will automatically reconnect to your smartphone whenever it's turned on. That's pretty cool. Now, I know the Bluetooth does that, and it does it really well. Okay? It does it really well. But you have to remember to turn that function off when you have the Bluetooth connected because it's continuously drawing from that battery. I found out a few times where I come back and my battery I thought was fully charged and it's down to bombard because a lot of times I'll have it on upload even when off. So the camera is still functioning to upload content or looking for that connectivity to be able to do so. And guess what? Your battery's being slowly depleted. Okay. So be careful of that. Here's some more Firmware 5.0 enhancements. Control your playback speed, half speed and quarter speed for video, which is great. 5 FPS, 15 FPS, and 30 FPS, or at current release mode speed for stills. That's really cool. For video, for sure, because that's one thing for me. I like to play back. If I want to shoot at 60 or 120, I want to play it back at the speed I intended to edit with, right? So if I see that regular speed, it doesn't really help me to understand how did that slow motion really come off. So I'm glad they did this. They had it in the Z8 with the firmware update. They brought it to the Z9. Boom. That's great. Choose how images center when scrolling in zoomed in playback, including an option to center on faces. I haven't used a zoom in, or anything yet, something like that. So, but maybe I'll try it out. But there you go. You have that firmware update. Choose to discard the camera orientation information in situations like astrophotography, which the lens is pointed upward. So there you go. I'm sure that was an issue for those who do shoot our beautiful stars and planets and whatnots up there. But, so there you go. You could turn it right off. I like having my camera display information all up on mine, whether it's horizontal or vertical, depending how I'm shooting it. I've never had an issue. If not, I just press display and eventually it'll turn it all off anyway. Get clear focus confirmation when using high res zoom. Oh yeah, that's the thing I haven't used was the high res zoom. But there you go. Now you have clear confirmation when using it. The frame turns from red to green. So I like that at least, that it gives you a very apparent, signal that you're using that function. Personalize the camera's retouch menu with most used retouch functions or assign them to custom controls. That's great for those who like to do a little bit of retouching in camera and then maybe dropping that, or uploading rather, that JPEG file straight to your phone. That could be helpful. Me personally, I like downloading the file, do a little bit of touching, maybe through Lightroom's mobile app, and then uploading it from there. But to each his own, you have that option now. Make precise manual focus adjustments with maximum aperture live view. Max aperture LV during manual focus. That's going to help me out when I'm shooting video. Because a lot of times when I'm shooting video and I need that precise autofocus adjustment, it's going to be when I'm shooting manual. Let's say talking head for documentaries, interviews, stuff like that. Maybe if you're shooting product video, stuff like that, and you want that preciseness, this could only help you out there. So that's really good. Speed up your workflow with improved FTP connectivity and faster transfers with raw JPEG to 8-bit HEIF conversion. I mean, it just means it's just going to help the efficiency of my workflow when I'm getting all this data or transferring all this data. Adjust exposure compensation and white balance settings even while recall shooting functions is active. Okay. All right. Well, that just gives you more user capability and less likely it will slow down your workflow. Allows you to keep on moving. So with all that said, it says here, but this date's already passed by like 2 days. Also available through the SnapBridge app. So you could download this via the SnapBridge app. I turned mine on and it immediately gives me a notification. Hey, have you downloaded your latest firmware update for the Nikon Z9? I did mine through NikonUSA.com, downloaded the BIN file, and then put it onto my CF Express Type B. And that's how I put it onto my camera. I haven't used a wireless download for firmware update yet. All right, so those are some highlights of what the latest Firmware 5.0 update for the Nikon Z9 is bringing to all of us. I'm sure there were some things that maybe I missed or not, but that's what was fed to me here on the NikonUSA.com website. With all that said, feel free. There are a million videos out there that may go in more detail than mine, but overall, I wanted to at least let you know, update all of you. And now it's time for my opinion of what I think. What does this mean for all of us Nikon shooters out there? First of all, we can see that Nikon is doubling down on expanding or maximizing the capability of their flagship cameras, meaning the Nikon Z8 and the Z9. They are putting everything they've got into it. Not only that, it shows that they're responding to what we want from Nikon and especially from these two type of cameras. We truly are, with all their latest firmware updates, and we have to give them credit. For the past 2 years, Nikon is really giving us our bang for our buck. For those who have stuck and who are newly introduced into the Nikon system, we are being rewarded because finally they, as a company, they're being extremely responsive. They're thinking of things that I didn't think of. Maybe somebody talked about it, but I didn't think of certain things. Like the anti-flicker. Like, who doesn't need more anti-flicker reduction capabilities in our cameras? Like, let's be honest, we're surrounded by LED lights. I'm using these LED lights from LumeCube right now, and these are the things that we need to make sure that we can be able to still function as a content creator, and our cameras don't slow us down. One thing that I'm really glad to see is that Nikon is really doubling down on their video capabilities. As many of us know, Nikon has announced that they are buying Red Cinema Camera Company, and this is just letting us know that they're leading up to something bigger and better when it comes to video. And now Nikon is actually a viable option for us to think about when it comes to video capability. It's no longer going to be that Nikon is just a still centric system. During my recent visit over at WPPI, I did an interview at the Nikon booth with the Nikon ZF shooting at 4K with eye detect, and it did a phenomenal job. I was very impressed with the color that came straight out of the camera, as well as the autofocus capability. So with that said, I'm going to be using Nikon for video a lot more. I would like to know, what do you think about these latest firmware updates? Do they impact you? Which update was one that you've been waiting for or happy to see? If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, don't forget to press that like, that share, that subscribe, and you already know, hit that bell to get notifications from my upcoming content. I'm Robert Silver, and until next time, keep shooting and stay creative.